welcome. I would like to talk about how the deeper in you go in this process, that the more the life takes on this experience of an adventure. There is this pure kindness that is governing everything. The experience of the heaviness that arises at times in the life is completely due to the conditioned mind's fears. And its primary fear is what is called the unknown, its loss of ability to predict. And it has many different mechanisms of response when that is happening. But as the trust in the kindness that is orienting everything deepens, the pure joy in the nature of the adventure that begins to take hold. The unknowingness becomes the adventure. And the nature of the movement into freedom is it will push the mind into various arenas where the conditioned mind believes it cannot go, should not go, is not capable of going. And it can spit out all kinds of stories that create the experience of pain. But when there is the simple recognition that everything that is coming into manifest expression is coming out of the beloved for pure freedom, and pure freedom is always through the door that the mind cannot know. And thus, instead of the experience of making decisions, it becomes the experience of the intuitive process that requires absolutely no involvement. And it opens the door into the adventure. And most often, the intuitive process, when it is really happening from a place that is still true intuition, it will carry the body into places the mind says, cannot do that. That is not good. But when the surrender is true, the discovery will typically become quite the surprise to the conditioned mind. And the wisdom and the guidance and the kindness that is guiding all of it overtakes the relationship with the mind's interpretation. The sense of knowingness, the sense of me gives way to just a flow, a current of unknowingness. Even if the mind is telling a story that I am in a rut, there is no such thing as a rut. When you are in trust and surrender, when you are receiving the kindness that shows that the mind's interpretation of heaviness is just delusion. This kindness is always attempting or offering to shed light on what has created misery, discomfort, and so it is reproduced for the possibility of receiving it. And the receiving it can only happen in the recognition that what is being received is kindness, no matter what the mind's interpretation. That the process is this ever-growing adventure that replaces the perspective of the known. That it will carry this conditioning into environments that are foreign to its condition, meaning places it is conditioned not to go. Yet it is all coming from this wisdom, this kindness. And the adventure itself eventually becomes the nectar. The transparency of the mind's issue becomes the invitation. The unknowingness is what brings forth the sense of awe. Yet when you are ready, there is something that knows. It knows that when one is being carried into the arena that conditioning says no to, it recognizes that this is all being carried by the one thing that can be trusted. Thus the mind's tendrils can do no harm. This is a definition of ripeness, trust. When there is true ripeness, there is a guarantee that trust is challenged. That the familiar gives way. That a sense of unknowingness replaces the habit of the need to know. That intuition replaces the habit of me making a decision. That what is present replaces the habit of living in a trance of past and future.